you know, the presentation and the voting for this particular bill, you remember the president saying, I want to see any member of parliament who will not vote for this bill. And that is, he said that in public. And so Kenyans were like, you know, so it is the president's finance bill. And don't forget, this is the president who had introduced so many taxes when he came in. And so when he was seen to be pushing for this particular finance bill, in fact, to be like forcing members of the national, coercing them to vote for the bill, then I think that is why there was a lot of agitation. And I agree with Honorable Ruto, because that time, of course, I used to be invited to PGs. I remember that it was brought in one Kwanza PG, and people gave recommendations, and it is true that we were agreeable that most of the proposals in the original finance bill, which was very bad, that we removed them, so. But by this time already, Kenyans were poisoned, and especially by the stance that the president was taking about this finance bill. And so I think it's this year. To be fair, I have not seen, you know, that grandstanding by the president about the finance bill. Of course, he learned last year, and he learned that power belongs to the people. Remember, had it not been for Raila Odinga, the president would have been removed from office by the Gen Zs because of this finance bill, and because he learned his lessons. That's why you can see there is no grandstanding. And I want to think and believe
has
that
Parliament learned the lesson. Forget about
well, I'm talking about grandstanding and appearing like he's the one driving finance bill, like it is his personal, you know, it's about his personal interest, because that is what brought all these problems. And I am telling you, I agree that we had agreed on some very progressive changes in the finance bill in State House during a PG, and so I do not expect those riots this year, but there are concerns, Fred, because last evening there was news that there is a very big budget cut on from education, and we have not had time to look at the papers whether they have those story, that story that actually even the national examinations have not been catered for in the budget, and it is unclear whether parents will be forced to pay for the national examinations. And so there are challenges. There are many sectors whose budgets have been cut. And so these are things that we should talk about, because all of us want a country that is stable. Nobody would want to see, the kind of situation that we witnessed last year, unless you are, a sadist and you are not patriotic. And so I want to believe that this particular finance bill will be, friendly to Kenyans, will be presented in a friendly way, that will not see people talking like it has to pass regardless, and that most importantly, that the views of the members of the public will be taken into account, and the necessary changes captured in the final finance bill that will be presented to the National Assembly.
Senator Mutinda.
Before I forget, Senator Nyutu has talked about the issue of education, that there was something on the news yesterday in regards to budget cuts, and he's wondering if parents will pay for exams. Indimuli, kindly invite the Minister for Education